Hey guys, what is going on? This is Nedge, and welcome back to the Minecraft series. And so to start off today's video, I put together a little compilation of just some things that I did in between last episode and this one, and so we're going to go ahead and jump to that. So our original goal was just to get some sand and clay, and so I found a desert and decided to build a nether portal leading out, but I ended up doing a lot of exploring around the area. So you'll notice we got that armor trim from the pillager outpost, and then I also wanted to try brushing some armadillos just because I was building brushes, because I knew that we were going to be doing some desert temples and also some desert wells I had seen, and so just focusing on collecting some of those more difficult and almost rare items. And so there was a reason too that I decided to do this, and it's because I wanted to try using the shards in my building, and so I had never really used shards before. They just haven't really matched anything I have done since they came out, and so I figured it would be a fun thing to try to kind of implement them into the villager trading setup we have, and you'll get to see that in just a second after we finish up with this. But yeah, I found a couple different desert wells, which the desert wells are one that you should always try to get, just because the shards in them are pretty rare, and they're actually surprisingly difficult to find when you actually want them now. Before you would like always see them, but now that there's an actual purpose with them, I feel like they're just a ton harder to find. I know in the past when I've been looking, like when this update first came out, and I was trying to collect all the new items, the desert wells were one that were just the most difficult to find. And then we went to a ton of different desert temples. The desert I found is huge, and honestly, I don't think I've even collected probably half the desert temples in it. I think in the future I might try to go back and get more, but I got more than enough resources for what I wanted at the time, and it's definitely fun to, continue to explore into them and try to find all of the different shards, just because you never know what it is that you're going to get. There was a warm ocean nearby too that I passed through, and I was trying to find some of the sniffer shells or the sniffer eggs in there, but I didn't have any luck this first time around. I want to go back and try to do it again soon, just because I think that's one of those kind of unique items where you get like a mob and plants from it. And it's just like one of those ones that's more fun to have than like serving a huge purpose in your world. But for that reason, it's just kind of a unique thing to have, and you can kind of distinguish your world with those items too. It kind of gives the game some of the character. But yeah, just a ton of archaeology and raiding the desert temples going on here. While the new I guess it's not super new anymore, but the archaeology stuff, while it is really cool, oh, and I think that's actually an enchanted golden apple that I found in there. It can definitely get to a point where you're almost bored with it because you're just repeating the same things over and over. Just going into a desert temple, the room's in the same place, you're mining, or I guess brushing the same block over and over, and so it can definitely get stale at points. Lots of diamonds in these jungle temples I found, and we got a ton of armor trims as well. Yeah, and this was an interesting one where it was just filled with creepers. I was definitely not prepared. I just tried to go straight to the puzzle. But there we go. But yeah, I definitely feel like some changes with archaeology where maybe it's a more unique experience every time could be very helpful. And it looks like I just gave up there and dug straight in. But yeah, overall I still think it's fun. And then this is all of the main loot I found while doing it. A pretty good collection there, a lot of armor trims and shards, which is what I was looking for, so very happy about that. So that's all the exploring that I was able to do off camera, but I still did put in a lot of work around here. So this is those shards I was mentioning and how I put them to use. I decided to kind of just give it like almost a busy look, and just fill up the walls however I could with different types of pots and different shards and flowers in pots. And so I think it looks pretty good. And then I also got the green concrete added into the wall here just to add some texture. So you'll notice throughout, it's a very similar shade, but I think it helps just break it up enough that your eye isn't like so bored by what it's looking at. And then I'm sure you'll also notice, but I now have all of the rooms built too. This was actually a pretty easy process building the rooms. I mean, I already had most of the resources, and so it really did come to just going in and doing it. And I'm very happy with how they turned out as well. They are, definitely a little bit bland, but I think it will very much accomplish the goal of what I want to do with it, which is just have an efficient and easy trading setup, because right now it's certainly a pretty easy place to just go in, go down the row of villagers, and get all of my resources. And then I'm sure you'll also notice that we have a ton more villagers, especially over here. I'm already almost done with the cartographers. And the reason why we have so much more is that I discovered that you actually can't continually cure the same villager over and over to get a larger discount. So these guys at the start here that I was curing just a ton, like every single one of these villagers I probably cured like 5 or 6 times. They'll maintain the same discount as a villager that is only cured once. And so there's no point in doing it over and over, which I didn't realize that change took place. It was 1.20.2, and in my opinion, that's a very poor change to the game. It kind of destroys a aspect of the game that I think a lot of players rely on for getting their resources, and I think it's definitely one of those things where the reward is, relatively speaking, worth the effort that you put into it. Setting up something like this and then getting all of the gold and all of the apples and the knowledge of how to do it and transportate villagers, I feel like you deserve the reward of having a really good and cost-efficient trading setup afterwards, but that's neither here nor there for right now. It's just part of the game now, and we'll just have to deal with it. So ultimately, you are still able to get a positive emerald trade with glass to glass panes with the librarians and cartographers, so it is still worth it to do it. And I think maybe what we'll try to do is just set up some other types of farms, especially with the farmers. I'm thinking that pumpkins, because oh no, they don't all have the trait. But if we did set up an automatic pumpkin farm, it would be very easy to turn that into a ton of emeralds, especially because it's so easy to farm for pumpkins. So it might be something that we'll look into as a solution for the change in how villagers worked, but I don't think it's the end of the world either way. And so I did just start filling in a whole lot more villagers, because it no longer matters that we cure them a bunch. I did a ton of mining out at the mesa, so we have some gold in here, plus all the villagers, and then I think just 3 more stacks in there. So I just have to keep on breeding them, and it'll be a lot quicker now to fill this out, because instead of 8 villagers taking like 40 minutes, it takes like 10. And so we'll be able to fill out the trading hall very easy, so it'll probably happen a lot sooner than it originally was going to. And also, it now makes me want to go work on some other projects, namely a sugarcane farm, because I think that's a great paper source here, and I also want to do an iron farm, and so I think we're going to try to do something a little bit different and build something with more of an industrial feel. And I want to do it over at that village close by to the Sky Island and the farm we built, and maybe even build a path linking them. And that's why I focus on getting so many of these mason villagers, because you can trade for bricks and get just a ton of bricks from them, and do a lot of cool, kind of more industrial looking builds, which I think is what we're going to focus on this episode. So I'm going to head over there now, and we'll kind of try to start laying out the area for what we want to do. Alright, so this is the village that we're going to be working at, and just for reference, that over there is our starter base, and no, we can't quite see it, but the farm is just that way too. And so I already went ahead and set up a quick villager breeder here. Now the reason for this is that the iron farm design that I want to follow requires 3 villagers, but I want to do 4 of them just to like really heighten the production. It really just saves you like waiting a lot if you just build more of them. And so we're going to do 4 in total. They're still super cheap, and so it shouldn't really matter. And for right now, I want to do 2 separate buildings. One will be iron, and the other is going to be a sugarcane. The reason I want to do sugarcane is, one, it's really helpful for trading. For instance, a lot of our librarians right now, we can't level them up because we need paper, and I don't have a ton of paper. I have some growing, but it's really not a lot when you're trading like 18 at a time, and you need to do 10 trades of it. And the second reason is that we need to start working on our firework production. Now that we have mending and breaking on our elytra, the next thing is to have just as many fireworks as we can ever need. And so half of that is to have a solid supply of paper coming in. So yeah, we need to go ahead and get that worked out too. And then the iron farm is also going to be helpful with this, because with the sugarcane farm, you need a ton of pistons. And for pistons, we already have the wood, we have a ton of cobblestone from mining. We don't have renewable cobblestone yet, but we do have a ton of it. And I'm going to go kill that iron golem so I can start shearing sheep. And put this down. And the redstone. So the redstone, you might have seen as cleric villagers, we can get it from there. So we have renewable redstone already. So it really is just the iron right now that's the primary ingredient that we need. So yeah, the iron farm is... we might work on both. We might just do the iron farm and try to like really finish it. I'm not sure quite yet. It's definitely a pretty ambitious plan, so it might be a couple episodes here. But yeah, I want to get started on it right now. And then I just want to destroy the village too. So we're going for a more industrial theme, and the village is like too colorful and outside of what I want. So I'm going to work on destroying it all. Honestly, it doesn't really take that long to destroy a village, especially with the tools that we have now. And so it should go by pretty quick. And so once it's all done, we'll decide on some spots for where everything can go. That bell's actually pretty valuable too. But yeah, I'm going to keep on working on destroying the village. And I may even go ahead and build the first iron farm here too. Oh gosh. Oh, I got stuck. That was really bad. That's how you get killed when you're doing this. And I think I'll actually just go ahead and build the first iron farm too. I'll probably need to go get some bread to feed the villagers, but that's okay. I have to see how many are left around here. But yeah, I'm going to get back to work here, and we'll check back in once I have that first farm built. So I wanted to come back and show off the progress that we made so far on the iron farm. So based off that iron golem, obviously we have it working now. And it's just over here to the left of the village. So I've got a villager breeder going over here, and I'm hoping... I've been AFKing for about 40 minutes now, and I'm hoping we've got plenty of grown-up guys in there to pull over. And so how it works is that there's 4 kind of separate units that are generating iron golems that all feed into this one pool in the middle. And so I can actually show what they look like over on this side. But down here, we've got just 3 beds where the villagers will go. And then, this boat over here is where a zombie gets trapped, and villagers that are scared of a zombie try to summon an iron golem. So we just leave them down there, and iron golems spawn. And so the only one that we have working right now is over here on the front left, and we've got everything set up down there. And I think it was just about 40 minutes of AFK time. It may have been a little bit more, I'm not entirely positive. But if we come down the ladder here, you'll see that we are already up to just about 5 stacks of iron. And so it is really quite quick. I believe, I'm not positive just because I don't know the farm design, but I think when an iron golem falls down here, they're outside of the spawning range. And that allows for a quicker respawn. And so all what's left to do now is just get the next 9 villagers and zombies into place. I still actually have to dig out the other 2 rooms. But overall, it's been a pretty quick build, and I just want to finish it up here and really start getting some iron production going. I I still haven't made too much progress in destroying the village, but that's a longer term project. I want to have this running in the background, and so I'm just going to keep on working it. But yeah, that's just a quick progress update. We'll check back in probably once I have the other pods all built. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I wanted to include a quick clip just on how this works too, like getting the villagers and zombies loaded. So you put the beds with the head over the hole, and then you just break them, and the villagers fall straight down into it. And so it's a super simple process. And then this worked out very well. Once you have a zombie, you just walk across, and they'll try to pathfind you over the trapdoors. If you just close them up and just get out of their line of sight for a quick second, they head straight down, and you'll see he's stuck in that boat now. Thank you to these acacia trapdoors. And this one is now contributing to our overall iron golem efficiency. So now instead of only having this one up here in the front left contributing to our rates, we now have two doing that. And so it's pretty quick, or I guess it becomes pretty quick when you have so many. So I've already got the villagers in place in these other two, and now it's just going to be finding two more zombies, which should be pretty easy to do. And naturally, when the zombie's in the boat, it doesn't despawn, and so you don't really have to worry about that anymore. And so yeah, I mean, all in all, it's super simple. I did take down the villager breeder just because I wanted the two villagers in there. Oh, you can still see some trapdoors I missed, actually. Yeah, we had 10 adult villagers, or I guess we had 7 adult villagers, and we needed 9, so I just took the 2 from there, and we are now fully stocked there, so it was pretty easy to pull off. So yeah, I'm going to get those last couple zombies over, which it looks like I might be able to do right here, and then when we come back, I think I'll try to... I'm still deciding exactly what I want to do here, but we'll try to talk about what the factory and kind of the industrial theme will look like too. Yeah, I'm going to keep working. Alright, so finishing up took no time at all here, and now I want to start actually building what's going to go on top. And so I'm going to kind of try to explain it verbally, although obviously just seeing it when it's done will be better. But it's going to be a super industrial theme, and this is kind of a build style I've used a lot in the past. Especially in the last survival world I was playing in before I started doing YouTube. But it's just going to be kind of stone on the bottom and then bricks on the top to kind of look like, I kind of think like the best thing that works for me is like Eastern US like colonial architecture, like factory style building. Because we do want to make it look like a factory, like it's an iron factory. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. And then I think we'll kind of try to split the building into like 2 sides and have like a flat roof on one side and then like a slanted roof on the other side. Just to try to do something kind of unique with it. And right now it is kind of like a perfect rectangle shape. I'm not positive that these are needed, and so I might try to just cover them up. And then that kind of gives me more freedom with the shape of the building. I definitely want to keep this visible in the center as kind of a focal point. I might try to even like decorate that going all the way down and, you know, make it look real nice. But this is definitely going to be a feature. It's just the shape of the factory around it that I'm thinking I might try to change. And then the very last thing that I want to do is I want to create a water elevator for the iron and have it come straight up into a sorting system, because going down this this ladder will get annoying super fast, and I don't want to do this every single time I want iron. Like even just watching it here, it takes like a full like 10 or 15, maybe 20 seconds to get down. And this is how much iron we have now, just for reference. It looks like a skeleton must have fallen in. But yeah, I don't want to do that every single time I want to go collect my iron, so I'm going to have it come up directly to me, because that makes my life a whole lot easier. Yeah, and so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get to work here and probably try to just come up with what I want the outline of the building to be. That's kind of the first step. And then once I have it outlined, it's just going to be building it up. So it's still kind of hard to imagine, but this is going to be like the general shape of the building. So it's an L shape. I guess I'll actually go ahead and pillar up just to kind of better help you see the shape of it. And so it's a little bit bigger on the side. It's basically like a square here with a rectangle attached on this side. And then because that on its own isn't a very interesting shape, where it's going to become more interesting is in the variation that we're going to create in the layers. So if we view this as kind of a first story, this will all be like a solid place. But then the second story, I think like this rectangle will all have a second story. Whereas the square might only have, actually everything will have a second story. The rectangle will all have a third story, whereas the square will probably have the front part cut off and not have a third story, but the back part will. And then we'll also use some roofing variations in different places, I think, too, to sort of help with that even more. But all in all, I think that's how we'll create like a more interesting looking build that's, you know, more unique than just an L-shaped building. And so what I'm going to do next is actually go ahead and fill in these walls in the bottom. So the bottom is all going to be stone. And then when we go up, that's when we're going to move into building with bricks. And that will have some granite and also white terracotta mixed in, just to create some variation and texture to it as well. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep on moving here. Get this bottom section filled out, get a floor in, and then also what I wanted to talk about is I think I'm going to stick the sugarcane farm right over here and have it run the whole way down, and then just do 2 levels of it, maybe even 3 levels if we can fit it, and then kind of have a centralized storage for both iron and sugarcane kind of in the roof over here. And I already did do the math, and I think that this is a pretty much perfect fit. I think we have 1 extra block, which will compensate for somehow. I'm not sure how, but we'll find a way to make up for it. But yeah, we're just going to have the sugarcane here, and then this will be like the iron section, and both things will be in this one building. And then maybe in the future, we'll build more factory buildings to look like we're producing more goods. Well, to actually produce more goods, but to also look like it. But yeah, I'm going to get to work on these walls. I'll probably try to build up this like stone frame to the exact heights where I want it everywhere. And then we can like actually look at what we're building here. So this right here is now very much, I think we're starting to actually see the idea of what I want it to look like. And so I want to go ahead and walk through and just kind of show what progress we've made. So these are all the walls in now, and it's completely stone at the bottom now. Well, we have stone, cobble, and then this, tough is what that's called. And then you'll see as we look around, I tried to keep the tuff kind of more near the top, just so on the outside it almost looks kind of like more of a shadow from the overhangs. And then we've also got some bricks in too now. So I'm going to go ahead and just climb up here and kind of show what it looks like. So this is what I meant when I said the second floor. So this is kind of all the second floor. So we're going to try to get those bricks like that going the whole way around. And that way there's more of a full second floor that we can look at. The windows are going to vary. Like, for instance, this wall over here, we won't really have windows just because of the sugarcane farm. And so we just don't have the option to put windows in. But then you'll notice, like, up here, we swap, and this is actually going to be kind of a patio area where you can stand. And then this is where the third floor is. So this section is cut off from the third floor. And I think we're going to imitate this, again, either up there or right behind it. And then on this section, the rectangular section, we're going to have a full roof. It'll be deep slate, I think. But yeah, I mean, it's really starting to come together and look more so like what I want it to look like. I feel like if you're looking at just the front now, you can kind of see what's supposed to be going on. Putting in this brick will take a little while. The fortunate thing is with so many windows, it actually ends up being relatively cheap because the majority of the space is going to be glass. I just think for this section, the majority won't be glass, so it really will become more expensive. I have to decide how to decorate it to make it look good without a window in its place, just because it can really start to get repetitive. But yeah, I would say it's definitely really starting to look good. I'm still trying to decide on flooring for the inside too. I'm kind of tempted to just go deep slate, but I don't know if that's what I want to do. And then for the second story too, I think I kind of want to do basalt with the iron trapdoors to kind of look like some rafters almost. Fortunately, iron is becoming very cheap. We're really starting to get a ton of it. Yeah, that should be over there. Yeah, there we go. We have a stack more of blocks. And even those, that's 15 anvils. That cost us nearly an entire stack of blocks. But it already doesn't matter because we're producing so much with the farm already, so we're able to decorate with iron things now, like the bars and the trapdoors. So that's the really big benefit of having an iron farm is something like that before, that decoration would take an hour of mining, where it now just takes being in this area. So yeah, the farm's definitely working out very well. And the factory's looking great. I think we'll have to come up with some other things to do outside just to kind of match the theme. The dead grass, obviously, or it's not dead grass, but just the yellow grass from the savanna, I think helps. I've never actually really built in a savanna, and I feel like this is a great thing to try and put in one. It's very I think it's almost unique in a savanna biome. But yeah, I'm going to keep on working here. Probably try to finish out all the brick going all the way around. Definitely I want to finish off the stone, the stone brick frame, just so we can get a complete picture of the shape of what we're going for. I don't think we're going to finish everything today just because it is becoming a lot. Just it's a ton of block placing. Oh, missed a block. Here, I'll just do that. But we can still definitely make some more good progress on it, so I'm going to keep going. Alright, so I wanted to just go ahead and wrap it up here, but first I just wanted to take a look at what else we were able to get done. Unfortunately, it's not too much change since the last clip, but I think we're able to get a pretty good idea of what's going on now. So we kind of have that back wall. I did run out of bricks, and I just don't have more right now, so we're just leaving it like that. And then another row of anvils running along. And then over on this side, I wanted to try something kind of different and do a 2A-shaped roof and have 2 instead of 1. Because if we did 1 and went straight up, it was just going to get too tall. So I wanted to try something a little different. And then I'll just climb up here just so we can kind of get a view from up top. And yeah, you'll see I started working on it in the back here. And then I just have to build this going all the way down. That should be pretty quick, to be honest. And then the very last detail is just, we kind of have this patio starting to be in the works right over here. Which, yeah, I'll probably find some decoration. There's no function to this. It's just to kind of break up the building and give it a new shape. But yeah, overall it is definitely coming along very well. I think in the next episode, we'll probably focus on building that sugarcane farm right away. because after we have that, we can really unlock our villager trading, because we just need to upgrade our librarians. And then that's also one of the very last things we need for our better elytra use, which is gunpowder after that. So definitely good progress. Excuse me. Definitely good progress being made. And just a little bit ways left to go now. But if you did make it this far into the video, thank you so much for watching, as I really do appreciate that. And if you want to see more Minecraft content like this, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, because I will keep on making it. So yeah, until next time, this has been Nedge, and thanks for watching.